When I say give me 3 claps, you're gonna give me 3 claps. Good, just like that. When I say give me 3, you're gonna give me 3. Give me 3. Give me 3. Give me 3. Good. Now I got your attention. How old are you?
14.
14. How old are you? 13. 13. How old are you, big man?
Me?
Yep.
6.
6. 14 to 6. And some of us in here 21, 22, 23. For the rest of your life, man, you're gonna see 4 things. I guarantee from the rest of your life, from 6 all the way up, you're gonna see 4 things. You're gonna see guys who are blessed with a lot of talent, and guys who weren't. You're gonna see guys who have a lot of work ethic, who work really hard in everything they do. And you're gonna see guys who don't. I always consider myself one of the guys who is okay talented wise, but work harder more than I have the talent. I was born with a condition in my shoulder called Erb's palsy. I want everybody to raise their hands above their head. Raise your hands above it. Go for your hands as high as you can. As high as you can. Good. This is how high I can reach my hands up. This is all I got. This is all the talent I've been blessed with. About 1.5 heights of distance. 1.5 heights. That's as high as I can reach my arms. Jackson, when we were doing those push-ups, when I was your age, I couldn't do push-ups like the older kids. I couldn't do pull-ups like the older kids. I basically had to watch while they were doing stuff like that. When I got to high school, I couldn't bench like the older kids. Coaches would come up to our high school and say, son, how much can you bench? I said, I can't bench anything, sir. Not able to hold the bar like everybody else. I wasn't as talented as everybody else, but I made up with it in my work ethic. I made it up in my mind that I had to work hard just to be average. I had to work twice as hard to be good, and 3 times as hard to be great. So from my freshman year to my senior year of high school, the time that I would put in to be great would be a lot of times by myself, working out by myself, running by myself, doing extras. Whenever coach said do 10, I had to do 11. Because I just couldn't afford to do otherwise. I couldn't afford to take a break like everyone else, because on that field I wanted to be somebody. So with all that, over years and years and years of putting in that hard work, I went from being a freshman in high school who couldn't bench press like all the other kids, who couldn't do push-ups like all the other kids, who couldn't do pull-ups like all the other kids, to being an All-American and captain of my All-American team. Not because of anything talented-wise that I had, but just because I wanted to be somebody. And I pushed myself in everything I did. That same type of work ethic followed me into the classroom. I couldn't just sit at a desk and be an average student. I didn't want to be an average student. Again, just like in the classroom and on that field, I wanted to be somebody. So I put in the work. I talked to my teachers whenever I could. I studied, whether I was in high school, college. I studied because I wanted to be somebody. I fast forward to my college career. My freshman year, I still can't bench like all the other kids. I still can't do push-ups like all the other kids. But now, the people I'm playing around, the guys you see in this room, are bigger, faster, and stronger than the kids I was playing against in high school. So the work ethic I had in high school had to be kicked up to another level. Because again, I wanted to be somebody. I couldn't just afford to just come where I came from to Carolina and just be there. I wanted to do the best I could. So man, I put in even more work. There was times where I'd go home and lay in bed and think about what else can I do to get better. Because I wasn't keeping up with everyone else. So I had to push myself to be the best I could be. Guys, about my redshirt sophomore season, I was coming up in the ranks. The highest position I got was a second string center. A second string center. After all the hard work I put in, after everything I did, I was a second string center and I was proud of it. Because in my mind, I earned that position. I had come from that kid who couldn't do push-ups, who couldn't bench press, to being a second string center on a D1 college football team, and that was the pinnacle of it, pinnacle of my career. That same season, tournament events went like this. On Saturday, we played against the University of Virginia. I played a good game, played towards the end, about 4th quarter, came in, played a good game, felt really proud of it. That Sunday, I had to get an MRI to get some checkup work done on my neck. That Monday, I go into the doctor's office and he sits me down and says, Jarrod, you'll never be able to play football again. So just like that, all the work that I told you I'd done since high school, trying to be the best I could be, all the All-American and coming to college and starting over from scratch, the second string center, being the best I could be, all of that was over. But I was still proud of it, everything I had done, because I exhausted every last bit of talent I had to be the best I could be. Our head coach, Coach Fedor, called me into his office and he said, Jarrod, I'm really sad to hear about the news of everything that's happened to you. But there's one thing you should know, is that you shouldn't feel down about everything you've done, because you used every last ounce of talent that you had. Every last ounce of talent that you had, and we're at Carolina proud of you. And not only are we proud of you, we want you to stay around our program. So with that being said, we want to take you from being a player to a student assistant coach. From being a player to a student assistant coach. So I used every last bit of talent I had. And just because I couldn't play football anymore, even though that was over, I was still being given more responsibility because of everything I had done. So I went from being a player to a student assistant coach, using all the talents I had, and being rewarded for everything I had, being elevated to a new position. I want to leave you with the story, guys. The story is always stuck with me in my life. Again, it's about talent, it's about work ethic. 4 things I told you always see for the rest of your life. It's a story, it's called the Parable of the Talents, man. If you ever want to look it up, it's in the book of Matthew in the Bible, chapter 25, verses 17 through 29. It's called the Parable of the Talents. So a master goes on a journey. He's a business owner. He goes on a journey, and before he leaves, he brings in 3 guys. Brings in 3 of his servants. To the first servant, he gives him 5 talents. Now back in this day, talents were money, but they were talents nonetheless. So he gives the first guy 5 talents. That's all the guy had was 5 talents. He brings in the second guy. The second guy says, you only get 2 talents. He gives the second guy 2 talents. He brings in the third guy, and he gives the third guy 1 talent. And the master goes on this long journey. Now while the master's gone, the guy with 5 talents takes his talents, invests them, and gets 5 more talents. The guys with 2 talents, he takes his talents, invests them, and gets 2 more talents. The guy with 1 talent says, man, boss, you only gave me 1 talent. I can't do anything with this. He doesn't use his talent. The master comes back after a long period of time, and he calls the 3 servants back up. And he asks them, what has he done with his talents? He goes to the guy with 5 guys and says, what have you done? The guy with 5 talents said, master, you gave me 5 talents. I went out and earned 5 more talents. The master looked at him and said, well done, my good and faithful servant. You took what little you had, and you made the best of it. You took what little talent you had, and you used your work ethic to make the best of it. Now you have even more. He brings in the second man. He says, what have you done for me? The second man says, sir, you only gave me 2 talents. But I took my talents, and I've used them the best I could, and I got 2 more talents. The master says, I'm proud of you, son. You got 2 more talents, 4 talents altogether. You've taken what little I've given you, what little talent I've given you, and gotten more with it. He goes to the guy with 1 talent. He says, son, what have you done with the talent I've given you? He said, master, you only gave me 1 talent. I only have 1 talent. I only had 1 thing that I was good at. I only had 1 thing that I was good at, sir. I wasn't like everybody else. I wasn't as talented. I didn't have as much talent as everybody else. I only had 1 thing, and I didn't use it. The master looks at the servant. He says, because you didn't do anything with that 1 talent, because of that 1 talent I gave you, you didn't use your work ethic to use it to the best of your abilities. You take your 1 talent and you give it to the guy with the most talents. The moral of the story here, guys, is what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't matter how many talents you have. It matters how you use your talents. Whether you have 5 talents, 2 talents, or 1 talent, it doesn't matter how many talents you have. It matters how you use your talents. There's going to be a time this season, guys, whether you're middle school, pee-wee football, high school, where coach is going to ask you to use every last talent you have. He's going to ask you to take the extra run, take the extra hit, make the extra pass, do the extra push-up, do the extra sit-up. And it's going to be up to you to use that talent. Every last talent you have to the best of your abilities. And man, I promise you, guys, I promise you, if you use your talents to the best of your abilities, whether it be on the football field, in the classroom, or in life, you'll be given more than what you could ever imagine. Thank you for your time, guys.